We are back again with another episode of Vegains and Vagitarians.
We are your hosts,
Luce Taylor
and Victoria Barkby.
I'm still raging, by the way. I was meant to have my hair cut.
Special
Before
mention.
coming in here. Fuck you, Cammy. I booked an emergency barber's appointment yesterday because I was like, I'm growing out a mullet at the moment. I had it cut in a few weeks back. My hair's still not, I feel like it's not quite the right length yet at the back. It's getting there. But I was like, I just need a wee bit of a tidy up, especially if we're going to be on camera this week. And Cammy messaged me like an hour beforehand and was like, I'm not well, can we reschedule?
Get well soon wishes to Cammy, but also
listen to
come on. Listen to the podcast.
I was like, we like had a bit of a conversation last night as well, because you literally like phoned the barbers as well to find out if they had any space from before 6 o'clock, or 7 o'clock when they shut. But I was lying on my bed at 5. Like my appointment would have been at 5:15. I was lying on my bed and I was like, I actually can't move. Like I'd honestly just like hit the crash. And you were on your way over and I ended up like falling asleep for like an hour and a half or something. And I like woke up to you like letting yourself in and I was like, yeah, haircut probably wasn't a good idea after all.
I'd like to point out I do have a key. I didn't just like make my way in through the window.
But I'm honestly just kind of like slightly terrified to even like try go into a different barber's or like I don't. Do you know that way when you like find someone to cut your hair or like you find someone to like provide you with the service and you're like, I don't trust anyone else to do this job anymore? That's me. Like I'll do it if I absolutely have to. Like if I'm like, it's literally like a life or death situation, and I don't think that hair ever constitutes a life or death situation.
I feel like it is important enough though, because you know you get people that fall into camps are like that. It's just hair people, and it's my hair. I remember it wasn't during lockdown, because I didn't have an undercut then. I very briefly let my sister cut my undercut. So not the long hair. That's the long hair hairdresser's responsibility. It was just the short bits.
Yeah.
And Lauren was like, I'll do it. And she cut my sideburn off. And I'm like, no, never again. I feel like that's slightly different. Like letting your sister loose with razors is different to finding another barber. But I know what you mean. Like you do have like the barbers I go into, it's like walk in and you just get like filtered to the nearest available barber, but you do get one sometimes and you're like, yes, it's a good barber. I'm going to look so cool after this.
I just like, I don't have the patience or I don't have the spoons to go into a barber's without an appointment, like, and have to sit there and not know like how long you're going to be sitting waiting for.
Sometimes
like,
it's great because you're in and out, and other times you're like, why have I spent all day in here?
It sets off my anxiety and makes me uncomfortable, and then I'm like, what if I then like hate my haircuts?
You're like, not only did I wait all day,
I was like, last time I was in the barber's, like there was a girl that like full on fainted and she was getting her hair bleached as well.
Oh no.
And like I think she ended up getting it rinsed.
I thought you were going to say it well unconscious. They just, they just dragged her to the basin.
No, like I don't think they actually finished it. I probably shouldn't have assumed her gender, by the way, because it was 7 sins that I went to, and I'm like, they're like a queer
inclusive
family. I don't want to misgender anyone. Just to be on the safe side, a person. And yeah, they ended up just getting their hair washed like prematurely and leaving early, I think, because I mean, fair enough. Like,
I mean, they must have.
Would you still want to like sit through a haircut and a bleach if you were on the verge of passing out?
Like, I've never personally fainted, but I hear when you come round, you feel awful.
Yeah, I've never fainted.
You can only imagine. They come round, they're in the hairdresser, and they're like, just finish my trim. Just do what you need to do.
Come back tomorrow and we'll finish it off.
Back tomorrow. It's like that length on one side, that length on the other.
God, can you imagine?
Still with a wee towel round her neck.
Just keep the towel, bring it back tomorrow.
Just keep it. Just keep it, man.
It's a consolation.
I suppose it would have been worse if like they'd been sick on it. They were like, do you know what? Don't even bother bringing the towel back. Just it's a wee souvenir from your day at the hairdressers. But I suppose that kind of segues rather nicely.
Does it segue?
Yeah. Well,
does it, or are you just saying that?
Not vomiting in a hairdresser towel, but energy levels what we kind of wanted to chat about today was, well, it doesn't actually segue when you actually think about it. You are correct. I'm making a bit of an overreach here, but we've been talking quite a lot in the last week because we both inadvertently have written what, when you compare them, is actually an identical Instagram post. But I'd like to point out we were not together when either of us wrote these things.
It wasn't planned.
It wasn't planned. They were written on different days, and only when we were showing each other social media yesterday, then we were like, oh, this has all the same points in it.
Yeah.
It's about the same thing. But it got us thinking about there are really common themes that, so obviously we both focus on different niches, but there are things that all of us come up against.
Yeah,
so the post in question was macros, but there's a lot to it. And we were talking about ways we both, the hiccups now because that monster. Other energy drinks are available.
I can feel myself needing to burp and I'm like,
not into the mic. Don't do it. There's a lot of things that we all encounter on our training journeys that, like, it can sometimes stereotypically be, it must be done this way. And if you don't do it this way, it's a failure, when in actual fact, there's loads of other options.
Yeah.
So this is where I mentioned the segue. For example, if your energy's low, see what I did there? There are other ways to go about your training, which is what you've been doing the last kind of couple of weeks, navigating with things that have been going on with your health.
Yeah.
So it kind of I made it was an overreach.
I can see the angle you were trying to go for.
There's a glimmer.
Yep.
Parkour.
Well, I finally pulled my finger out and did something that I'd been meaning to do for a little while. So you've probably heard me talking about the gear system before. I don't shut up about it at the moment. It's something that I've been using with a lot of my clients recently, and it's honestly been a game changer for a lot of them, especially folk that are like coming off the back of like a long period of burnout or are struggling to be consistent in the gym. And I think it's like a really like useful way to kind of like try and track your progress and realize that, especially if you're someone that has fluctuating energy levels, or you're managing a chronic condition, or you have been away from the gym for a while and you've got this all or nothing mentality around it where like, oh, if I don't go 3 times this week, then there's no point in going at all. Instead, if you just select the gear that you're in for the week and then focus on like the small, like easy wins where you're training, your nutrition, your steps, your socializing, then you can still see that you're moving towards something even on your shit weeks. And I've been saying for ages, like, I'm gonna do a gear system for myself, and there was part of me that was like, oh no, I'm above it, like I already know how to do all these things, like my clients are coming to me because I'm already a step ahead of them, so why should I have to do these same things that they're doing? But funnily enough, like, I'm a human too, and I struggle with the same things that my clients struggle with, and that's why I have a coach.
We're just people.
Like, I think we said that on one of our last episodes as well, but like, we don't pedestal ourselves above our clients. Like, we are walking the walk alongside them. I hate that phrase, like, leaders lead from the front, because no, they don't. Like, a good leader leads from behind. They're walking alongside their clients. They're not leveling themselves like way ahead and going, follow me, I can do this, so you should be able to do it too. It should actually be the other way around. I saw someone else like mention that, I think it was maybe one of Mark's posts the other day where he was talking about like, he saw other people doing things and he was going, oh, if they can do it, then so can I. And I like that much more than, if I can do it, then so can you. Instead, it's going like, I'd like my clients to go, oh, Luce can do this, so can I. Not me going like, I can do this thing, so my clients should be able to do it too. Like, I want them to look up to me and go, Luce is navigating this thing by doing this or that. So if it worked for Luce, then it'll work for me. But it would be awfully presumptuous of me to turn around and go to my clients, well, I can do it, so why aren't you doing it?
And it also shifts the responsibility, because it's not a case of, well, I'm here and I will drag you along for the ride. It's, someone is sat looking at where someone else wants to be, going, how do I get from here to there?
Yep.
And that's keyword in there. How do I? Not how does someone else get me there? Now you can use, so for example, coaches, you can use people as roadmaps and points of reference, but it's like Googling how to swim in it. At some point you're going to get in the water, which is scary, and like we understand that that's a huge part of our job.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a personal journey. It each belongs to us on our own. It's like we're saying, we're just coaches. We're just people too. Like there's nothing, crazy statement, there's nothing special about a coach beyond the ability to teach. We don't lift the weights for you. We don't run for you. We don't cook you your dinner or feed you or make sure you're sleeping at night. Like that's all on individuals, and that can sometimes seem like a lot, but when you break it down, like you're saying, if you choose a different gear and you're like, oh, the big picture's too much, maybe I'll just focus today on making sure like I've eaten well all day.
Yeah.
Just a small thing.
Because I think that's been a big thing for me. So, like, especially coming from so much structure and rigidity last year with competing. So it was like I almost all of a sudden like lost all of my executive functioning skills, and I struggled to put a meal together with vegetables for a while, and I struggled to get my steps in. And then I've literally changed gyms like multiple times as well, because I was training at a gym near my mum's when I moved back in with her for a bit at the end of last year when I came back from Barcelona. And I'd been out of training for like a good like 6 weeks or something between kind of going to Barca, coming back. And then, yeah, I got into like the habit of training at the gym near my mum's. And then I moved back to Glasgow. So for like a couple of months, I was training in Glasgow. And then again, like all these health issues and stuff, like energy levels tanking, starting medications that were preventing me from training. And I had a hard time with that because I was like, oh, I'm just making excuses for myself. But no, I wasn't. Like the intention is there, but like when you're struggling with something like long-standing fatigue, like you don't get to decide when it kicks in and when it doesn't. I think the most important thing though is like recognizing and taking responsibility for the things that you are able to influence. So for me, boundaries around work has been a big one. So making sure that my clients are aware that sometimes I might take 24 hours to respond to messages, sometimes longer if it's more of a complex issue, but not being available 24/7 for them because like I'm a human and I need to live my life and I need to look after myself too. Also like things like making sure that I finish working by a certain time, that my bedtime is consistent, that I'm not on my phone like right up until I shut my eyes, and making sure that I'm getting up at a fairly consistent time in the morning. These are all things that you can influence, and these are the things that you need to take responsibility for during difficult times, because if you don't take responsibility for those things, then you can't be frustrated when you're not making the progress that you want to see.
I feel like probably my most recent relevant example, I don't know, it's slightly different, was after surgery. I think I've mentioned this in a very, very early of the pod. And I went to physio, one of my first physio appointments. And I went in, all best intentions, my knee had puffed up, so I was very blessed. Side note, see if you have an issue and it's long standing and you're still swelling up, something is up, go get it checked. I'm talking about joints here, but if anything else is swollen, go get that checked and all.
Less said on that, the better.
If you're listening, Mum, this is where you clock out. But it was very, very early. I'd not long had operations, still on crutches, and my knee had puffed up. The physio was like, oh, how are you getting on? And I was like, oh, I'm feeling fine. I was focused on the task at hand, which for me was getting back to Victoria of before, naively not realising at the time that Victoria of before, this is going to sound dead deep, I don't mean it the way it's going to come out, but it is going to sound dead profound, isn't coming back. The Victoria at full fitness pre-surgery is not Victoria full fitness now.
Yeah.
Neither are better or worse than the other, they're just different, because I had different priorities and I have different priorities now. But that's by the by. I went into physio and I proudly announced to her that I had hit 10k steps. And she was like, are you joking? Like, no, in a good way. It wasn't that, oh, hit your steps, girl. It was, are you mad?
Yeah.
Because I'd put so much pressure on my leg, which was still raw and stapled together. She was like, no wonder it's up like a balloon. She was like, you are not at the stage where you should be counting steps. Yeah, but it's drummed into everyone. They have this, I must do this, I must be perfect.
Yeah.
Not realising that if you meet yourself where you're at, I was at the stage where I should have been at home with my bum on the couch and my leg up, watching the telly and reading my books. But in my head I was like, I have to get up. I have to absolutely end myself. That's how I get where I'm going. And I was very wrong. And I was going to say I learned the hard way. I actually got off very lightly. I've been very lucky when it came to my rehab, and that every time I galloped ahead and thought I knew better, I got off lightly when it could have been so much worse.
But I've got a client at the moment who came to me off like quite a bad period of burnout.
Mm-hmm.
And they had like set some big like strength goals and stuff, and like they were wanting to get back to where they were a couple of years ago when they were in the gym consistently and stuff. And one of the things that's kept coming up for us is that like they are trying to get back to a version of themselves that doesn't exist anymore. So it's like exactly what you've just said, where they've just been setting the bar too high for themselves. So we literally went from, first we were like, let's get a consistent workout in a week, like one workout, 45 minutes to an hour, like just your standard kind of weight, like resistance training. And even that ended up being like a little bit too much for them. So what we're now doing is we've like broken it down into like, how can we make the barrier to entry as easy as possible? Like even if that's just a little like 15-20 minute, like a couple of sets, bodyweight exercises if we have to, if you're out and about, so that it's something like portable that you can take with you when you go away. They've always been pretty good at getting their steps in, so that's not been an issue. But diet and nutrition is something they've wanted to work on a bit. But I suppose we'll go into this a bit more. Like they are not really in a place for tracking right now. Like they've also spent a lot of their life like tracking food as well. So they're like, I know roughly how much I'm eating. I don't have a physique goal right now. I just want to build my energy back up again. And we've just been like constantly reassessing things on a weekly basis. We did the gear system together like last week on a coaching call, and it's been really cool. Like just little shifts. So for example, with the gear system, again, like making the barrier to entry as easy as possible. They've gone away, like they've color coded their gear system and everything. Like,
oh, is this the color coded person?
Yes. And I've taken a lot of like influence from that now, and I'm like, I'm gonna like, my other clients need to see this as well, because I'm like, this is gonna be a game changer for them. But even just things like shifts in language, changing their perspective from, because they're someone that does a lot, like outside of fitness, like they overcommit themselves to plans at times. Like they'll have a really busy day of doing like life admin and stuff, but they will be like, oh, I've not had a productive day. And I'm like,
is your client my mum perchance? Sounds like something Big Irene would do.
But I'm like, but you're also like neurodivergent. Like you're not in a position right now where you have like the same capacity to do things that you did back when you were masking. Like it's really common for people once they start unmasking to then start to find executive functioning a lot more difficult than they did previously, because it's like they're a lot more aware of the things that they struggle with now because they have a name for them and stuff. So it's not uncommon, and it's therefore like, okay, how do we adjust the plan? And now that we've adjusted the plan and we're working through that, like they have been making progress in ways that they were struggling to before. There's been a lot of like mindset shifts for them where they're like putting more boundaries in place with like friends, even if it's just like, I'm just going to message my friend and let them know once I've got the energy, I'll reply to their message, instead of just leaving that message completely unread and then forgetting about it until like 6 weeks later.
I feel like
and then the other thing as well is, instead of thinking about like, how do I and we've spoken about this as well because I've been trying this out myself, instead of thinking about like, how do I like manage my energy levels, it's where can I create energy, and how do you create energy? Because for some people, especially like extroverted people, creating energy is like being in social situations, being around people, doing activities. For other people like myself, like energy creation is resting. It's allowing yourself permission to like have a nap or take a few days during the week where you don't have any social plans, or maybe it's front loading your week with social activities and then giving yourself the rest of your week to kind of recharge. Like it's making space in your calendar to actually rest instead of constantly feeling like you need to be productive all the time.
Because I think it's quite a simplified example, but I remember having a client once and I'd written her a new plan, and I can't remember exactly what machine it was. Say it was the adductor. It was something that was like more of an accessory than a big compound thing. But it was no longer in their plan. And she went, will you write me an extra day? And I'm like, why? And she was like, to use all the other machines that I'm not using I'm like, you don't need the full gym right now.
Yeah.
Like, what you're doing will be more than enough. And I think there's sometimes this idea, not just in the gym, as in life, that things
The gym
need...
is a metaphor for life.
The gym is just a metaphor. Like, things need to be like rammed for it to be considered productive. Like, the biggest gym hack there is out there is that rest is productive. Like, all this, like muscles are made in the iron pad. Like, muscles ironically grow and repair themselves while you sleep and while you eat.
Let's also be real, like a lot of the people that folk are comparing themselves to on Instagram and stuff who are training like 5 days a week and like just constantly on it, like, and have these amazing physiques, like a lot of them will also be assisted. Like a lot of them will be using PEDs. So that's something to take into account as well if you're like, oh, I'm not doing enough. Like in addition to that, like a lot of people that like have the time to train like 5 days a week are probably in jobs where they're not working like 9 to 5 and like, don't get me wrong, there are like really good bodybuilders. Like I know a few people like bodybuilders, people I competed with and stuff who do have intense jobs, 9 to 5s, kids and stuff, and they are able to train like a bodybuilder. But do you actually think that they have time for like a social life outside? Like bodybuilding is like their like passion to the point where outside of like their family and their work, they're probably not doing anything else. So I think when you get stuck in that comparison trap, you have to ask yourself, like, is this actually right for me? And is this actually like conducive to my goals? Like, do I like, and you're allowed to obviously want to change your body composition, to lose body fat and stuff. These are okay goals. Like, they're good goals to have, but how much of that do you actually want versus like you want to feel like the person that looks like that? Because you become that person in the process of like losing body fat and building muscle. So if you're so fixated on this end result, you're not actually enjoying the process, then are you doing things for the right reasons?
Because no one wakes up overnight and they're jacked. Like, it's a small move every day, and it's like, it's what's incisive questions. It's not about the end goal. It's what is that person that is in shape? What is it about their life you think is missing from yours? And why do you want it?
What is it that they embody? Is it confidence? Is it having a structure and routine that you maybe don't have? Is it like not having to worry about like what people think of you? Because these are all things that you can work on yourself, like regardless of like how many days you're training and stuff.
Like, is it like, fair enough, if it was an example, say for, I don't know, someone in there for health benefits, is it the perceived idea that, for example, people that go to the gym are healthy? If it's an anxious person, is it, like you're saying, are gym goers confident people?
Because let me tell you as well, see, when I was training 5 days a week and like super focused on bodybuilding, was I at peak health? Absolutely not. Like, I was constantly fucked. Like, I make jokes about this, but like, I feel like I'm still recovering from prep a year later. And I feel as if like a lot of my health issues have probably related to like putting my body under that amount of stress for so long and using bodybuilding as almost like this distraction from a lot of like fucked up stuff that was going on in my personal life. So I think you need to really understand like what these things involve and like, are you doing things in a way that feels right for you and aligned with you?
Because I remember, this was back when I worked for the NHS, and I was at the gym one night and I was leaving, and as I got to the car park there was that guy, and I can't even remember how we got talking. I think he was parked next to me and he was like, oh, you're jacked. And I'm like, thanks, strange man. And he turned round and he went, but it's easy for you though because you've got a physical job. And I remember thinking to myself, how do you even know where I work? And I went, I work for the NHS. And he went, I thought so, you're a nurse. And I'm like, no, I have a desk job, I work in procurement. And you could see the cogs whirring going, how on earth are you in shape with a desk job? And I'm like, and I remember at the time thinking, that's a major flex. I'm like, I'm in shape and I have a desk job. But sitting here now looking back on it, I'm like, that's because I left my desk job, then spent all available free time I had, poured it into the gym.
Yeah.
But it's like you just said about bodybuilding, I was not healthy in that particular period of my life. I was really, really struggling with like my sexuality, which led to, I felt very, very lonely. I felt like although I had like a good circle of friends, like I knew very, very little LGBTQ plus people. So anytime I felt like I wanted to have a discussion with them about things I was struggling with, it was all, but it'd be different for you. And the word that kept coming up more and more and more was, you don't know what love is. Yeah. I can't believe we've never had this discussion. I've been told it quite a few times in my life. It's like, your version of it is different or it's less than. And that really, really hurt. And I went to shout out Joe, if you're listening. Joe, as a psychologist I spoke to about quite a few things, and that came up, was this inherent belief that somehow, somewhere deep down, I wasn't lovable. And all of a sudden, all of the gym compulsions, I'm bearing my heart on my sleeve here, all of my compulsions made sense. Because I was in the gym grafting for some sort of idea of if I'm perfect.
You explaining that to me just now, I think that's making conversations that we've had in the past make more sense to me now in your response to the like things that I've said. Something's just clicked in my head.
We're having a moment here, man.
I appreciate you sharing that with me, and I'm sure
I realised as it came
our
out,
listeners appreciate you sharing that as well.
Like I'm looking back on what I've just said there, I was like, that was probably something that like probably deserved just us hearing it, but now everyone gets to hear it. Sharing's caring. But looking back on my early gym, because I think as well it played on my recovery from surgery, because the body type I had then, like we were in the gym this morning and I was like, I swear I used to be able to press these. The body type I had then was wrapped up in this pursuit of perfection. And I suppose if you look at it from the rugby perspective as well, I failed at that, like I wasn't good enough, and this need to be back fully fit to prove myself. Well, I don't know to who, because like I grew up, like I knew I was loved as a child. Like I've never been, other than that one relationship you know about. Other than that, I've been very, very lucky. I've been surrounded by very, very good people my entire life.
Yeah.
But for some reason, little me had this, but I think it was because I maybe didn't grow up with queer people round about.
Yeah.
So I felt other.
Yep.
And then when I did start to hear it in conversation, obviously growing up in Lanarkshire, it's a slur. You'd be the butt of jokes, you'd be instantly bullied. And I think I probably grew up, obviously with discussions with Joe, like grew up in fear of myself and realised that the only person I was trying to actually be perfect for, like this version of Victoria that's perfect, doesn't exist, because you're allowed to just be yourself, if that makes sense. That got deep.
It did, but I appreciate you sharing.
I know you need some monster after that.
Just taking a moment to take it.
Yeah, I'm just going to sip.
I think like that's probably where I've like had my biggest gripe, like especially in the last year with the whole like grind set mentality and this alpha male mentality, like you need to be in peak condition, otherwise you're not legitimate within health and fitness, because like health and fitness literally has all different shapes and sizes. Like, and as much as I obviously support my clients who have fat loss goals, like that's not necessarily the goal for everyone. Like again, as we've just spoken about, like, and we've spoken about this previously many times as well, it's like just because you end up getting a result, like a fat loss result, like getting super lean or whatever, doesn't mean that you're going to feel the way that you expect to at the end of it. And like being lean feels like shit. Like it actually feels like shit. It feels like your head's up in space all the time. You don't feel like connected to anyone or anything. Like you just feel numb and tired and hungry. And
did you not say your nickname at one point was the astronaut? Because Lucy's up in space.
I don't think I ever said that was my nickname, no, but
I don't know why I hadn't made it was your nickname, but I remember you saying it in the early days.
I remember Kit saying to me, like when they saw me at PCA, like they came and chatted to me like in the foyer, but like before I competed, and they were like, they were like, I don't know if you were just like really overstimulated, but they were like, oh, you just didn't look like you were having a good time. And I was like, I think it was a bit of both. Like, I think it was a little bit of a realization for me of like, I've done this really big thing. Like, I've done this thing that like not a lot of people can do, but I don't feel like it's changed me, like in a sense of like you feel this immense kind of feeling of pride of like, holy shit, like I've stepped on the stage, I've done this incredible thing, like I've worked so hard for this thing and the hard work has paid off. But equally it's like, doesn't make people like you more. Like it doesn't make people respect you more. It doesn't make people like, do you know what I mean? Like you need to do it for you. And even though I think I'd largely did it for myself, there was probably still a little part of me that was like, I want other people's approval. As much as I tried not to let that be the case, there was definitely a little bit of ego in there.
I would feel the same about my leg. There was an element of, although it was my own leg to fix, there's an element of I wanted to be able to turn around and go.
I think there are a lot of people that like compete as well, and they're like, oh, off the back of this, like everyone's going to think I'm the shit and like everyone's going to sign up to my coaching and stuff. And it's like people do not actually care about your accolades. And if they do, then they don't want to work with you for the right reasons. They want to work with you because they want to look like you, not because they want to think like you. And I want to work with people that want to think like me, not look like me.
We want to create a good thinking environment. Because you said that to me the other week when I was having the crisis about rugby. And you were like, would you like your clients to give a shit whether you do or don't play rugby?
Jen said the exact same thing to me the other day when I was having a wobble about the fact I've been struggling to train recently. And she was like, the fact that you've not been training recently like doesn't impact your ability to coach people.
So we've still got the knowledge up here and you still have the personality you've always had, the likability you've always had.
And it's not as if I'm just like fucking off my diet and like eating beige and like not moving at all. Like I'm literally just... I'm treating myself in a lot of ways like the same way that if a client was struggling with those things, like I'm not being as kind to myself as I'd like to be, but I'm doing the things that I would advise my clients to do, like focus on your diet and nutrition, set a few like small actionable goals. Like it doesn't have to be anything crazy, like just try and get to the gym once this week, then try and get to the gym once a week on the same day, and then build up from there. Like you'll build momentum. Tell yourself you're only going to go in and do 1 or 2 exercises. If you can do more, then amazing. If you can't, then you've still done more than nothing at all.
I've said to clients before, if you're not up for training, but they want to go in, but they're like, I can't face doing my session or my program. I'm like, do you know what? Just roll up to the gym and see if you fancy doing something. Like pick your all-time favourite. It doesn't even need to make sense. Like if it ends up looking total body or it's just a day doing hundreds of bicep exercises.
Just like us today in the gym, I didn't follow my program, but it was my first time in the gym in like 2 weeks, and I was like, cool.
And you've still got giant belts. Got to play on all the new equipment.
And I could have gone for a nap afterwards, but we didn't have time.
I know we were on a roll today. You have a nap later. Won't be long and you can sleep, but until then, get that monster over here.
The monster's done. What do you make of that flavour, by the way? The new one, the Lando Norris one.
Do you know what?
Melon.
We spoke about it last night and I was expecting it to be fizzy like the watermelon one.
Do you mean fizzy as in sour? Is that what you meant when you asked me?
Yeah, because the watermelon one, like when you drink it, it's a bit like as my Auntie Jean would have said, draws the cheeks of your arse together.
I thought you meant is it fizzy as in like, is it fizzy or flat? And I was like, well, it's not flat.
Like it's juice texture. It's juice texture.
But it's not like sour melon.
It's not sour. It's nice.
It's like mellow.
It's easy to drink. You know, some of them are quite sharp tasting. Like the watermelon one, the white one, the green one can sometimes be a bit, oh God.
The strawberry one as well.
That's nice.
What's the other new one, the one that I've been drinking?
The one with all the colours on it.
I can't even picture it now.
It's the one, I want to say it looks like the Bai flag. It's like blue and pink and with the bunny rabbits on the can.
I was about to say Ultra Rosa. It's not.
It looks like the shade of pink is similar, but it's got blue. What is it called? I like that one.
I can't even remember.
That one
it's kind of like grapefruity. Is it grapefruit?
I think it is. It's some obscure fruit.
It's quite sour, that one.
I quite enjoyed it. There was a can of that in the fridge at work and I was ready to text the PT it belonged to going, say goodbye. But I thought, no, it's not yours, Victoria. Don't do that. And then we were in the gym at the same time the other day, and he was like, "Oh, I hate that," and I'm like, "I wish I'd just stole it now."
Here, by the way, see the fridge in your work.
I
Does
don't
it
dare
end
put
up with like random? Because like, see, when I worked in JD, like that fridge, like you'd open it and it would just stink like there was stuff in it from like 6 months
it
prior.
hums. When I was in the middle of the week, they did a clear out of the kitchen, and the stuff they found, and I don't know why. Fair enough, it's PTs that bring it in, but I don't know why they always pimp out all the like the Weetabix we found. Like for some reason, JD Skilbride, the PTs that used to work in there must have been prolific Weetabix eaters, because there's just strip upon strip upon strip of Weetabix.
What the fuck?
But you know the way, if it's still good, they're like, "Oh, does anyone want this?" And I'm like, absolutely not. I don't know where that's been. And I wouldn't, like, I feel a bit not throwing shade at any gyms here, but I would feel better putting my food in the fridge at JD. But the gym from whence I came, the staff room, like, I wouldn't even piss on it if it was on fire. It just deserves to be pulled to the ground. It was bad. I kept my food in my lunch bag. I was like, see if I'm ingesting it, I need to know it's clean. That fridge, I remember at one point someone found raw chicken in the back of the fridge, but we don't have facilities to cook raw chicken. So how on earth someone brought that in? The other thing as well is I'm quite, like, if I've got food on me anywhere, I'm like, oh, I've got snacks for later. And I would look forward to it.
Yep.
Like, I maybe do a bit, or like have so many clients and go, right, I'll go have a snack now. How can people bring so much food in and just forget it's there? Like, I've still not forgotten that my water bottle is somewhere in Aberdeen.
You think about it before you go to bed
I know,
every
I
night.
just close my eyes on it.
It's just sitting in the ballroom, lost and found.
Just
we'll go back for it one
alone.
day.
I'm like,
next year at Granite.
I hope it's okay. I hope it's leading a full life. Like,
talking of water bottles and gyms, see in Tesco they sell. Do you know how I've got that big bottle? It's sitting in my fridge at the moment. I still need to like clean it out because it's got like mildew or something. I'm not the most hygienic.
You are. When you run out of spoons, sometimes you leave things sitting on the like draining board, and that's all it is. It's just because it's sat
I think
still.
it was in my car in the heat or something. Anyway, my manager when I worked at JD like had the exact same water bottle as me, and it was one of those things where I think I ended up writing my name on mine in Sharpie because I was like, because he was also drinking like diluting juice out of his, and I was like, they're gonna get mixed up at some point.
Yep.
But it was one of those water bottles with like the really cheesy things on it, and it's like, come on, you can do this.
Keep
like,
going.
Yeah, keep going.
Nearly there.
1 more litre, nearly there.
Like wakey at the top.
Oh, and I didn't realise that it had those things on it until like I bought it. And he was the same, and it was like one of the other PTs that had like pointed it out to him, and they were just pure taking the piss out of it. And
did I ever tell you about Hoodiegate?
No.
At Nuffield? So one of the PTs used to work there had, because she still does, had the exact same hoodie as one of our clients. So when Kira was no longer on shift,
one of her clients,
her clients. So when she was no longer on shift, what she would do, she would take the Nuffield jumper off and put this hoodie on, just so she got peace and quiet, so people don't think, oh, I'm at work right now. But she would leave it in the PT office, but that's also where we did the paperwork at the end of all the sessions. And by pure fluke, like, no, it wasn't premeditated, but Kira's was like well worn and this lady's was brand new.
Right.
And at the end of the session, the client accidentally picked up Kira's hoodie and wore it. Like, she was like, I don't know how to get my hoodie back because she's wearing it. And I don't know, is it your eyes even did that? She's wearing it, but this woman kept coming in with this hoodie, so see, for weeks on end. Every time it was in, I was like, there's your hoodie back.
What the fuck?
And she was like, I don't know what to do. Because she's like, I don't want to just, they were the same size. Yeah. She was like, I don't want to just put this hoodie on because the client's one was newer. She's like, I don't want to just wear this woman's hoodie, but at the same time, she's away with mine.
I have like a really weird, I don't know why this is, but like I managed to overcome it a little bit, and like I've bought a few things from charity shops before, but I feel really weird. I was thinking about this when we were talking about the food in the staff room as well. I feel really weird wearing other people's clothes, especially if I don't know like who's worn it before. Like, has it been washed? Is there things in the pockets?
Yep.
Like when I've put your shorts on and there's been a dirty hanky.
I'm so sorry.
But
They're your shorts now, so
like,
it's fine.
that gives me, like, that's actually making me want to, like, tense up. Like, that's, like, I can't imagine wearing someone else's clothing and just going about my day like that.
The day I had, so in the rugby world, kit is, especially in women's rugby, like, you don't own the jersey. So obviously I've got my own Raptors jersey, but that's different because I ordered it and I've never played in it because you don't have a playing team. But generally speaking, when you show up for a game, there is a kit bag. Generally speaking, you wear your correct number, but if it doesn't fit you for whatever reason, you just take one of the other ones. And the rules are, generally speaking, especially in the grassroots levels, that as long as there's no two players on the same team wearing the same number, you get away with it, because in rugby you very rarely have your name in the back of your shirt anyway. And the day I had my accidents, I won't name and shame the team because I'm sure their kit is clean, but I picked up, they play in blue and white stripes, and I picked up the 15s jersey and I was like, has this even been washed? Probably the drawback of having a white kit is they don't clean easily. I'm sure if you play for England, I'm sure there are ways. But I remember picking it up thinking, ew.
Oh,
that was a bad, like, the universe was sending me signs going, don't put that t-shirt on.
Yeah.
Because you're going to go out there. You're going to mess things up for yourself. But Mum will tell you, I used to have a thing, it's getting better now because I'll cut about my socks, like when I'm at yours, but I used to freak out if my socks touched the floor. My sister will be able to vouch for that one. My socks couldn't touch the ground.
So, did you wear shoes or
slippers or shoes?
Sven the sharks.
So I don't know what it was. I just liked my socks being nice on the bottom, and it really, really irked me if I had to walk on like ground or something like that when I was little. It had to be me that had been in things.
Yeah, I feel like I can definitely relate to that with like the clothes thing.
Like, they need to belong to me, so I can only apologise for my hankies. I
feel like that's tolerable, but see if it was like someone else's hanky that I didn't know, that would just be too far.
That's what I hate about my gym shifts at the minute, is see picking up dods of blue roll.
See, like the lost and found, like the lost property box, that actually gave me the bulk. Folk would come in, they'd be like, oh, I've lost my knee sleeve, or I've lost my wrist strap, or like, I've lost my water bottle. And I just felt so dirty going into that box, and like, I could never work in a charity shop. I think that.
I got handed like this vest was sodden the other day. None of the other PTs wanted to pick it up, and they were like, Victoria, can you take... They made me late for legs, bums and tums.
I told you about the boxers that I found in the saunas at JD, didn't I? There was just a pair of boxers sitting in front of the sauna when I was on the clothes, tidying up the men's, the gents. Yeah.
I don't know how you did that. They would have been straight in the bin. I would have went and got like tongs.
And
I'll tell people, I'm like, I won't pick that up, I'm going to go get gloves. I don't care what it looks like to other people, I'm not touching that with my bare hand.
I think I did get gloves.
You really suffered that night. No one should have to go through that at their work. Is there anything else you would like to add on that bum note? No pun intended.
No, I think that's a good place to leave things.
Leave it like those boxes
leave
were
it
left.
The soiled box.
Yeah. We will leave this episode much the same as that gentleman left his boxers in the sauna. Did they ever come back for them really quickly?
Who knows?
I hope I haven't. If I'd left my pants anywhere, I haven't been.
No.
So anyway, we'll go. As always, if you've got any questions for us, anything you maybe want to ask, or any topics you want us to cover, please do hit us up. You can grab Luce at
tailormadetraining.pt on Instagram.
And me at VB the PT.
Thank you.
We have been your hosts.